It's the weirdest thing. Has anybody ever had that happen with you? Like, just because you follow each other and both of you post a lot, you're already connected. You don't even have to talk that much, and it works. You might DM like a dozen times throughout the year, but that's pretty much it. So with that said, she has built her business, and she now has built a pretty sizable team under EXP, and she'll give you all the stats of her success, which are all great. But what I really respect about her is she has a high quality of life. How many of you guys feel burnt out a lot in this business, So for me, I'm not always trying to optimize nowadays as I get older. I'm not trying to optimize for the most money, the most success, the most everything. I want a better quality of life so I can have better time with my family, with my kids, and not be stressed all the time. Everybody who I know who's older and has fallen on bad health, they kind of attribute a lot of it to stress. I know there's probably other reasons why, and bad diet and all these other things, but a lot of it comes back to just overly stressed for just long decades of time. And they wish they would have done it differently. So there are ways to do it differently, and this is someone who does that. And so I wanted to bring her up here to give you her Instagram strategy. And here's the thing. This is going to be different than some of the content I teach, but it's a good way to mix it up. And I want you to think about this with an open mind, because you can try it, and it might be your thing. It might work for you. Or you can incorporate it to mix up your content. So it's another content strategy for Instagram and how to monetize it, how to turn it into actual business. So everybody on your feet, please. I want to give a warm forward welcome to Miss Amy Gregory.
Okay. Hi, I'm super happy to be here. If you don't know me, my name's Amy Gregory, and today I'm going to talk to you about, let's see if I can get this to switch. It's not working. Anyways, I'm going to talk to you about, pardon me? Oh, there we go. How to scale your business without hating your life. That's just how we're going to lay it out there. One of the things I've noticed is you see this pattern. You don't see businesses like mine on stages like this very often, because by all quote-unquote industry standards, I would be considered a very average agent. I'm not doing more than 10 million in production in a year, at all, ever. Don't aspire to it, don't want to. I like to work about 20 hours a week. So, let's see if I can get this to go again. In the past few years, I've worked part-time hours. I make multi-six figures just buying and selling real estate, right? That $10 million in production. I can do that in about 10 hours a week because I'm listing heavy and I strategically increase my price point. Anyone that wants to be like, oh no, I love working with first-time buyers and buying $200,000 condos in the city, that's fine if you love that, but if you want to buy your time back, you probably want to increase your price point. I built a national team with over 450 agents across, I went the wrong way, 450 agents under me at EXP. I'm one of the fastest recruiters at EXP. I know some of you heard EXP and just wanted to tune me out. We're not going to talk about EXP at all, except for the fact that that business worked well for me. You should know where I was before EXP. Before EXP, I was with the guys that founded Invitation Homes. I was sitting at one of the best real estate tables in the industry, and I still moved to EXP. Why? Because it's really cool for those guys that Blackstone has invested with them, and they own 80,000 investment properties. That's not my business, though. That's their business, right? And it was cool to have a front seat at the table as it was being built, but it wasn't gonna work for my lifestyle. Those guys were traveling 24/7, running that business, and I know because we were neighbors, right? And we were having babies at the same time, okay? It was brutal. It was brutal. And they did it, and it was awesome, but again, not my business, right? So EXP just worked well with my lifestyle. That's why I moved there. So one thing to understand here is to make a decision. My husband about fell over and died when I told him, oh, I think I'm going to change brokerages. He's like, you're out of your ever-living mind to leave that table, right? Wouldn't you agree? Kind of crazy to leave that table, yes or no? Raise your hand if you think it was crazy. Okay, guess what? I'm still friends with them. It's not like I don't have a relationship with them anymore. I just decided to build my business instead of build their business. Fair? Is that okay to do, yes or no? Yeah, I'm going to build my business. And guess what? The amount of time I had allotted to me was different than the amount of time they had allotted to them. And we can sit and act like, oh, that's not fair, men versus women, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter. This is the deck of cards I have. Look at those cute kids. I love my life. I love my 20 hours a week. It's phenomenal. I was willing, 20 hours. Also, I hate this industry definition of average agent. if I'm selling $10 million worth of real estate every year, that means I'm bringing home over $300,000 working 10 hours a week. Tell me that business sucks. Like, honestly, right? But we get caught into this thing of like, oh no, if you're not bringing in $100 million worth of real estate deals, you're a loser. That's not really true. It's not really true, okay? Let's see if I can get this to go for me. It's not about being the best agent, it's about having the best distribution. And I'm gonna tell you something, and Cody touched on this as well, is you're not a mortgage lender, you're not a real estate agent, you're a marketer. And the best marketer always wins. And here's the greatest thing, is the best marketer actually always turns into the best agent or the best lender, because you end up doing the most deals, but you have to start with marketing. And so often we wanna get caught into the spreadsheets of like, well, no, I'm really good at writing a contract. It doesn't matter if no one knows. If no one knows, what does it matter how good you are at it? So here's the good news, is when I started back into real estate, I think I'm just pushing the wrong button, sorry. I'm gonna get over this. I actually had the best distribution. I already understood social media. I told you I was a geriatric millennial, so I grew up with like the OG fashion bloggers, and I don't know if you know that those fashion bloggers are making money hand over fist. And their business model is this. They're gonna go to Target, buy a shirt, and then they're gonna put it on their Instagram, and they're gonna share the link with everyone, and they're gonna get a small piece of commission on that, right? Real estate agents have the same business model. You sell someone else's inventory for a small percentage, right? It's just much bigger because the product you're selling is much more expensive, right? So some of this is about packaging and positioning yourself to your market in a way that lands well. Notice, like, let's just do a cross-section right here. Social media, you have to be willing to stand out. There's a reason I'm in heels and a green dress. Just so you know, I got home last night at 2 a.m. after a 4-day ski trip. Tired? Yeah, I'm tired. Am I gonna show up? Would I like to show up in my Lululemon joggers and my sneakers? Absolutely. But me showing up in a green dress makes it easy for you guys to talk about me. Makes it easy for you to remember me. You might not remember my name, but you're like, oh, the girl in the green dress. And then guess what happens when you go and open up your phone later and you try and find me? The algorithms heard me talking, and it's like, oh, they're talking about Amy Gregory, the girl in the green dress. Do you see how it makes it sticky, savable, shareable, memorable, right? And so often it's like we're trying to hide and fit in. Oddly enough, I drove up this morning, and I was like, gosh, I don't really know where I'm going. I could peg you walking to where you were going, because I was like, oh, that looks like one of Neil's people. Because Neil has a brand, right? And Neil's brand is he wears a backwards hat. How many of you have a backwards hat? I mean, there's so many ball caps, right? Right? Yes or no? Yes. So we can sit and play the game of like, oh, well, this isn't fair. And I thought, well, holy hell, this is phenomenal. All I have to do is put a dress on, and now everyone notices me. Cool. I'm gonna put a dress on. I'll make a cute one. Awesome. I love it. Add that to my line item on my business. No, I'm not mad about that, right? But it allows you to be like, your biggest fear is being ignored. That should be your biggest fear, is that people just ignore you. They just swipe on through, right? So I had the best distribution. And when I started on Instagram selling real estate, it was 2017. So I was pretty early in the game. I met Sean through Kelly Ladwig, which was so fun. Sean is one of my favorite people on Instagram. And we met through Kelly Ladwig. And then he told me, come to Neil's event. And sometimes I just say, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. And I grabbed a friend, and I'm like, you want to go to Vegas for this thing? I don't even know what it is. But Sean said I should go, so let's just go. And okay, cool, right? And so, but this is the power of social media, is it just keeps opening up doors. Like I literally thought, I'm going to go sell a couple houses and take nicer vacations. That's what I thought I was gonna build, because I was pregnant with baby number 4, right? And instead, I've built a multi-7-figure business working part-time hours, driving carpool. Here's where this gets interesting. Now, I love that Cody went right before me, because he's like such masculine energy and such feminine energy, and this contrast is important, because it's not that one is better or worse than the other. It's just knowing the deck of cards. It's like insisting that LeBron James shoot like Steph Curry. No. Like, LeBron James is going to go and own the paint, and Steph Curry's going to draw the defense out to the half court. By the way, it's unreasonable to shoot from the half court. If you're younger than me, you might think that's reasonable, but for a long time, that was totally unreasonable. So you should just do some unreasonable things. But here's what's interesting, is how many times have you heard from this stage Cody's story? Or a version of it? I built this incredible business. Money's falling from the sky. I'm miserable. Raise your hand if you've heard that story more than once from a stage. And the story always ends the same. It always ends the same, right? There's this turning point where you decide to take 100% responsibility for your life. You want to know what's so interesting? And I loved that Cody said this, because it happens every time. The measuring stick of like, oh, I've made it, I'm successful, is, oh, now I pick my kids up from school every day and I drive them to all their crap. Raise your hand if you've heard that story, yes or no? Yeah. Okay, why don't you just build your business like that from the beginning? Like, honestly, what is stopping you from just building your business like that from the beginning? And here's the thing, if you're female and you do that, which I have done, is they just say, oh, you're not really that committed. That's cute, that's like a side hustle. Bullshit. Bullshit. I'm gonna tell you something, is that like having constraints on your business makes you efficient. It drives creative problem solving. Does anyone remember 2020? How creative did we all get? I freaking loved 2020. I loved everyone all of a sudden like, oh my gosh, I've got to work from home and I've got all these kids underfoot. Yeah, buckle up, buttercup, welcome to my world. I've been doing this for 10 years. Get out of my way. It's no big deal. My kids always existed before 2020. I just had to pretend like they didn't. I literally closed deals behind 3 locked doors with a crying toddler on the other side. That happened. 100% that happened. Now I'm just like, oh, my baby's crying. I have to call you right back. I don't apologize for it anymore. I'm not apologizing for having kids. I'm not apologizing for being a wife. I'm not apologizing for being a mom. And I'm not apologizing for going to the freaking ball game. Because guess what? When my husband does that, it's like, oh my gosh, you are father of the freaking year. So, let's go. You will never stand out if you look like, and by the way, my husband is the freaking bomb. I will tell you this, and I couldn't have built this without my husband. And we've got to get out of this game of like us versus them and her versus him. Like he does more laundry than I do these days. I'm really good at making money. He's really good at managing money. And you better figure out how to be a team, and you better figure out what your strengths are and like drop your egos, okay? So I am known for helping women. Great. If I can't help you, I'm just going to tell you that, okay? It's like, again, know your game and play your game. Steph Curry is Steph Curry. LeBron James is LeBron James. They both have phenomenal games, but they are different. They are different players, and they're going to win games differently. So I help women buy homes, and I help women build businesses. What are you known for? You have to be known for something. And the problem is you're all trying to be known for everything. You're literally trying to be known for everything. Like you're going to go out on the basketball court, and you're like, oh, not only am I a point guard, but I'm also a center. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're only one of those things. And if you're trying to be all of those things, you suck at everything. Like you'll just suck at everything. So I started out, remember when I started, I was just going to sell a couple houses and take nicer vacations. This microphone is like pulling my dress backwards, sorry. I was just going to sell a couple houses. And I thought, well, who am I going to sell houses to? And I was like, well, I'm just going to sell them to my girlfriends, right? What I noticed was my girlfriends are married. They've put their husbands through medical school or law school. Some of them have PhD degrees, but most of them are stay-at-home moms. But guess what? They made the purchasing decision, and I knew that. And it's just like, isn't it more fun to shop with a girlfriend? Girls like to shop with girlfriends. If you haven't noticed this pattern, there's your revelation. And so I was like, I'm just going to sell it to my girlfriends. And then I guess what I found out? 97% of, no, not 97, it's 91% of all home purchases are influenced by women. That's Source's Bigger Pockets. Go Google it. 91%. 91%. And I'll pick on Sean because I know his wife, and she's amazing. And I can guarantee you, correct me if I'm wrong, there's no way you're buying a house without Jen being like 100% on it. 100%. Now, but he might buy her a house that he's only like 80%. If she's 100% on it, and he's like, I don't totally get it, but I don't know, Jen's totally down with it, so that's what I'm doing. Fair statement? Fair statement. The reason being is, one, Sean's not an idiot, okay, number one. Number two is he realizes, and correct me if I'm wrong, for reals, but where you live impacts Jen more than it impacts you. It impacts her more. That's why she makes the final decision. And it's not like Sean's not involved. Again, it's not this thing, it's just understanding the dynamics of how you move around, right? And so I didn't know that when I started, and then as I got going, I was like, oh, this is a thing. But I didn't know that until I started posting to social media. So social media will give you so much feedback that you not posting is like you're missing so many data points in your business. So here's the process. I'm going to do it really quick for you. Who are you uniquely qualified to help? Listen, if you want to I'm not finding deals for Cody. I don't want to do that. That sounds like torture to me. But you want to know who would love doing that? Like literally my husband would love doing crap like that. He loves a spreadsheet. I don't want to do that. Okay, cool. Find who you are uniquely qualified to help. Understand what their problem is and how do you solve it. And then it's about getting that information to them through content in a way that they want to consume, okay? So, how many of you convince yourself that you don't have time to create content? Raise your hand. And how many of you look at Neil's content and you're like, freak, man, it's all glowy lighting, the mic is so good, and the edit is so cool. I mean, it's cool, right? It's cool, right? And then you're just like, man, I got to go hire a videographer. I got to go get on set. I got to have a script, blah, 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 blah. Listen, it works. I love Neil's content. I love it. It just didn't work for me. It doesn't work for me. I don't want to do that, right? Just like I don't want to build a local team in my local market. I don't want to babysit agents. I want to work with other like alpha female solo agents like me. Trust me, you don't want me. If you're a real estate team leader, you don't want me on your team. Because I'm going to be like, that's a stupid idea. Why don't you just post it to social media? You know what I mean? Don't you love when I love when agents get on and they're like, oh my gosh, you should cold call and here's how you do it, as they post it to social media. Like the math is not mathing on that. Because how many of you have followed me on social media just by show of hands? Okay, so see, all of you are having a relationship with me at scale, right? So one post is working for me all of the time. So you can't afford not to create content. When it comes to creative work, limitations bring freedom. Your lack of time should influence you to be more creative in how you get it done. It has to get done. It's not an option. It's not an option. Okay, so figure out how to do it inside your container. My container has always been about 20 hours a week. I like working about 20 hours a week. And I live this phenomenal lifestyle. I take a month off every single summer. Every single summer. It's awesome. 65% is the message people remember 3 days later when it's delivered with a visual. This is why social media is so important in your business. So I'm going to tell you how to make content in about 20 minutes a day. Okay? Are you ready? Yes? No? Yes. Are you ready? Yes. Okay, let's do it. So I think you should just make it easy. So content in 3 steps. Number 1, you should have B-roll. Does anyone know what B-roll is? Yes. What is B-roll? Tell me what B-roll is. Like behind the scenes, right? Behind the scenes video. It's basically video of you doing nothing. It just has movement to it. It's just visual, okay? Film anytime you are dressed and ready for the day. By the way, that should be every day. Look good, feel good. Stop working in your pajamas. Like, I'm not joking with you. Literally, my mom, I would come home from school, from track or whatever, and I'd be like, oh, I'm going to go to this thing. And she's like, hell you are. And I'm like, what? And she's like, you're not leaving the house like that. You but go get your hair done, get dressed. Like, don't be walking around looking like a slob. You know it's true. Okay? So get dressed. Value. Your captions are your solutions. Write for 20 minutes every day answering a specific question. How many of you are doing this? How many of you write for 20 minutes every single day? Yes or no? Raise your hand if you do or you don't. That's your problem. That's your problem right there. And I'm going to tell you why. Because Cody just told you too. It's like, why the hell aren't you writing emails? Well, it's really easy for me to write emails because guess how many captions I've posted to Instagram over the last 5 years? A lot. Those are your emails. Copy, paste. It is all circular, right? So your hook, your on-screen hook, I heard Neil talking to you earlier this morning about what your hook is. That's your email subject line. Pop it into your email subject line, right? And then you're going to have your caption. Your call to action, this is your cash register. Direct clients where you to go next and make it easy with ManyChat. How many of you are using ManyChat? ManyChat made me $1 million in 2023. It changes the game, and hardly anyone is using it. So you can choose to be like first to market with it, or you can choose to keep thinking about it. But your lack of decision is the decision, okay? And you don't need me to give you a tutorial. Like, you do not need to come to a conference to get a ManyChat tutorial. Open up YouTube, push some buttons until it works. That's it. That's it. That's all it is, okay? So Cody says he only posts like a call to action, I don't know, once every 12. Oh, I do it every damn day. Every day, right? And that makes me $5,000 to $7,000 every single day. Just post the link, right? Just like his email, okay? This is what my DMs start to look like. I have people wanting to buy or sell. I have people wanting to join my group at EXP. Wouldn't you know it, they're alpha female solo agents, just the same as my transaction clientele, right? It's the same, okay? So this is what it looks like from my chat. Do you want your DMs to start looking like this? Okay, then tell them. Tell them. How many of you have kids? Raise your hand if you have kids. Okay, perfect. This is going to be so great. How many times do you tell your kids to brush their teeth before they're 8 years old? How many times do you think you tell them to brush their teeth? How many times a day, every day? Like, do the math on it. I'm not joking. Repetition is what you're missing. Like, if you're like, oh, I posted about that last month. Okay, you should probably post about it again, right? So this is what you should do. This is the type of footage you should film. Okay, take a screenshot of it because we're going to give you time to go and do this like right now. You should leave with 10 reels on your phone. Done. Okay, here's my viral reels recipe. I don't know why this video of me in my car performs so well, but it does, so guess what? I use it. I use it more than once. Use it again and again and again. Here's the data. Instagram will tell you what to post. You know what works, right? It tells you. So I posted the first one June 17th, about 350,000 views. I used it again. The headline is basically the same. I just said it in a different way. If you have sons and daughters, you know that you speak to them differently. Yes or no? Yes. If you're smart, you do. If you're not, this might just blow your mind right here. I have 3 boys and 1 daughter. If I want my boys to do something, I'll race you. I'll see who can pick up their room the fastest. Or, oh, there's a secret item. Whoever picks up the secret item, you get $1. You want to know how fast they pick their crap up? Pretty fast, because it's a competition. My daughter, I got to package it up, put a bow on it, and make her think it's her idea. Right? She wants to do it with you. Oh, I'll go upstairs and clean your room with you. And by the way, here's a snack, and let's turn on some good music. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yeah, right? You know. Okay, so look, am I saying the same thing? Want to see massive results? Make this small adjustment. Want to get millions of views on your content? I'm literally sharing the same thing. I just changed the headline. So I want you to open up your phones, go to your Instagram account, see what your top 4 or 5 performing reels are, write down that hook, and then rewrite that hook. Freaking put it in ChatGPT if you need to. Rewrite this hook 10 different ways. Pick the best 3. Repost that piece of content. Here it is again. I just would like you to know that in the video on the right, I'm on a family vacation. I have no makeup on. I have my big glasses on. I have a Taylor Swift concert shirt on, and my hair is in a top knot. Stop not posting because you're like, oh, I don't look great. No one cares. That's actually, how many of you does that feel more relatable to? Right? Right? And this is the best part. Look at how many comments it is. It's over when I screenshotted it, it has over 2,000 comments. That's a ManyChat automation, and all those people are dropping into my funnel. How many of you have ManyChat set up on your account? Raise your hand. Okay. That's your homework assignment. That's your homework assignment. I'm going to tell you the first time you use the ManyChat automation, nothing's going to happen. No one's going to comment on it. And you're like, oh, well, Amy said it was going to work. Amy said it made her $1 million, and she's such a liar. No, you just have to that's like acting like you're going to go out. And I love I love sports, so I just always have to go back to my sporting analogies. It's like you have to take your at-bats. Like you're thinking you're going to go up and you're going to play in the World Series and you're going to hit the grand slam. It's like without ever having swung the bat. Is that a reasonable expectation? No, so stop it. Like get your at-bats in. Here's the greatest part is like in baseball, you can only score 4 runs maximum. I have no idea how many runs I'm going to hit every single time I get up to bat. But I'm getting up to bat every single day, okay? So then these emails, if you look on the caption, I don't know if you can see that, but the caption is literally the same caption. Why did I use the same caption? Because it worked. Like, stop reinventing the wheel. You probably are exhausted because you keep reinventing the wheel. You know what I mean? It'd be like making dinner, and every single night, you're going to, like, a brand new recipe every single night. Does that sound exhausting? Yeah, but that's what you're doing on your social media, right? So you have to decide to decide. You can decide it's too hard, or you can decide to make it easy. So what I would do if I were you guys, because you have such a phenomenal talking head, like real formula, is then just mix in the B-roll formula as well. Mix it in. So write this down. I didn't put this on a slide. This is my viral reel formula. Are you ready? Your video should be 7 seconds long or less. Trending audio. Okay, I want the trending audio to be used less than 5,000 times. And I want the original use, this is how you find the trending audio to use, okay? That original use to be over 1 million views. Okay? You're gonna have so like when you look at the audio, you can see how many times it's been used. I want that to be under 5,000. You can go up to 10,000, but you're an overachiever if you get it under 5,000. And I want the original post to have over 1 million views, okay? And then I want a really strong hook. You can go look at my account, it's all I post. A strong hook, use keywords everywhere, or I know Neil told you about another one.
Answer the public.
Yeah, to know what people are searching or talking about. And then a really strong caption with your ManyChat automation. Do it every single day and watch your email list explode. And I think, are we going to have him head out and do B-roll footage, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, so we'll do this together, but just really quick, if anybody needs the ManyChat, the basic ManyChat setup is watch this video and comment the word this, and it responds to that comment, and then it sends them the link in their DMs automatically while you're asleep. So if you look at the last post I just posted on Instagram, it's a green screen video where I talk about what's going on in the market. In the end of the video, I drive them to comment the word home if you want this information. In there's several hundred comments, okay? And it's not a viral video. Some of the worst performing videos have the most comments because they're all getting on this. So I'm adding 300, 500, sometimes 1,000 people to my email list every week. So what Cody said earlier is he made all this money, hundreds of millions of dollars off email lists, because we're trying to drive people off there. So sometimes it's like, no, I looked at Neil's videos, they only did this many views. You don't see the back end where the email list just keeps growing and keeps growing. So some of you need help with the ManyChat. We've actually simplified this. If you need it, just send us a message and I can walk you through it. Trev has a resource as well. Like we have a video to show you how to do it, or we can walk you through it together. So if anybody needs that, please ask.
It's worth a couple of hours it doesn't even take a couple hours. It takes me 10 minutes.
It used to take a couple hours. Like I was trying to help Julie's girl with this 6 months ago. It used to be more complicated. Now it's very easy. It's just very simple. They made it a template. You click on the template, you tell them which post you want the thing to work on, and then it's already done for you. I think it'll be less than an hour. If you're techie, it'd be like 10 minutes, If you're not techie, it'd be like 40 minutes the first time. But other than that, it's done now, So it's pretty simple. So worth the time. But what I wanted to do was, Amy's content style is like, shooting this B-roll, and then that's I call this my video vault. I keep all these videos. Now you have these videos to choose from. So she's probably always getting videos. So I want to ask you, Amy, like, when you guys go on vacation and you're at some place, like, are you telling your husband, hey, honey, grab a video of me doing this. And he's like, what for? And you're like, shut up, just freaking grab the video. You know, that's what I do.
So there's some of that a little bit, but also like what I do with my content is I have my best performing content. I know which videos perform the best. I have them in a Google Drive. And then I also know which captions perform the best. So I also have those in a Google Drive. So I can literally post in less than 20 minutes a day because it's all just there. And frankly, the other thing is I actually can write an Instagram caption in about 10 minutes because your mind is a muscle. So just like you go to the gym, and it's like, at first you feel that resistance, right? Like it hurts, like you're sore the next day. But you can train your mind to write it really quickly. And the greatest thing is it's really effective as a mom, too. I can hook, caption, call to action. I can, like, convince a group of teenagers to put their phones down for the night. Because,
as you were just doing this, I just grabbed a thing, I'll airdrop it to you. But, like, you talking on a stage, you doing a class. And what I noticed the best ones have is sometimes it's flat, and it's just sitting on the desk or a tripod, and it's you doing the thing. But I like the ones where there's a little bit of movement, like something's going on. So when she was just talking, I was just kind of doing a smooth sway. So remember Tiffany Anderson, where are you? I was like, hey, if you want to film Greg, remember we called it the sway? Like you would just be holding the thing, not jumping up and down, keep it smooth, and just kind of sway back and forth and move around. And it keeps a nice, smooth shot. That's the background for these videos.
Yeah, my best tripod is like my Stanley cup. So like I literally just put it on the sidewalk. I put my phone like this. Let's say I'm out in front of a house that I'm listing, and because I want that content of like, oh, I'm a listing agent. Don't call me to buy your new house 30 minutes from me. And I'll just put it like that, and I'll literally just go, and I've done this a gajillion times. I just go wipe off my sign. My sign doesn't need to be wiped off. There's nothing on it. Yeah. But I just need the video of me in front of the sign in front of the house. And so you just do that every single time. And then you always have that video. Like you get to use it forever, right? And then that's the same thing with captions is then those become your emails because you already know what converts. You already know.
And so this is what I would love to do now. We have just 20 minutes left together today before we have to go. I know everyone's kind of got different flights and stuff. And on Tuesday, we have a call, because I know some of this is like we're going fast. Tuesday, we have a mastermind call. We'll break down this in more detail, so don't miss Tuesday's call. But for now, what I wanted to do something action-based. I want to get some of these shots. So Amy and I jumped on a call earlier this week, like, let's just have them shoot the videos now. So can you go back to that slide where you had like the lists of things?
Yes.
I think this would be really cool.
This is what you call like your shot list, because sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to shoot? And it's so simple, it's stupid.
And yeah, you might feel just super cheesy doing this, like filming you on a call and you're not really on a call. I know it sounds cheesy, whatever. But if you don't want to do that one, do the other one. So what I want to do is partner up with somebody, just the person right next to you, and let's just go outside. Like there's so much great light. This room is pretty dim and orangey in here, so it's not the best place to shoot. But out there in the hallway outside, you could just be literally sitting down. So this is how I would practice this right now. I would be like, one of them's drinking, right? Not drinking alcohol, but just drinking. So like grab a coffee mug, and you're sitting down out there, and I'm just holding the mug, thinking about something, and then Amy's right here at an angle, and the sun's on my face, and you just grab a nice sway shot. You need 8 seconds, right?
Yep.
7, 8 seconds, and then that's a video. You walking down the hallway, and then somebody's just standing here and moving a little bit, and you just walk down with the purpose, walking with the purpose. And what I would love to do is you do it, then for the other person, they do it of you. Does everyone understand what I'm saying here? Now you have a couple shots of this, and by doing this, you can continue doing this. So for me, I have my video vault. It has tons of these videos. And I just ask people. And now I've gotten comfortable just asking strangers. They'll be like, hey, do you want to take it? I'm like, hey, could you take this video of me doing it? They're like, you want me to take a photo? I'm like, no, just pretend I'm like you're filming me. Just hold the video and do it. And they're like, well, that's kind of weird. But I'm like, who cares? I'm never going to speak to this person again. Like, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Well, one of my most viral videos is a video that my daughter took of me and my older son. Like, we were arm wrestling, and we just wrestle all the time at our house. And he literally just threw me over his shoulder and like body slammed me on the couch or whatever. And it's like my daughter's finger is in the video. It's like the worst video, but I use like a trending audio. It was like the firstborn son is always the male version of his mother, you know, and it is. It's like me and my oldest son are literally the same human being. And everyone was...
But this might be the best content, you know, like somebody's going to implement this strategy that Amy just taught you, and it's literally going to be the unlock for you for the rest of the year. This could be it because so many of you are struggling with the talking content. And you're like, dude, I don't like it. I don't feel authentic. Well, do this. You don't even have to speak. You can just type words on the screen, and it takes way less time. We just took 10, 15 minutes to do this, and I'm going to show you how we took the video, and then me and Amy will critique it, okay? So we have the slides ready, Mandy? Okay. All right, so these are the girls. They're walking with purpose, okay? So watch this. We're just filming. And what Trev was doing was just like slowly backing up, kind of hunched over because he's taller than them, right? And they're just walking with purpose. What do you guys think? So this video is so easy to capture, right? If I were to say, hey, Mandy and Nicole, we need to shoot a video where you say this, they'd be like, can we do it later? You know, but if I just say, can you guys just walk and look like you normally do? Yeah, no problem. We could do that. Like, so they walk. Now, they can type whatever they want on the screen and then expand on it in the caption, right, Amy?
Yes, absolutely. So then it's like about knowing what your hooks are and knowing what your captions are. And the greatest thing is when you start writing them, your talking head videos will get better.
Yes.
They will get a million times better. I didn't write what I I didn't write this down today because I've done it so many times. Now I can just I know my talking points and I can just move through it.
And if you notice, I do this now. John did this kind of inadvertently yesterday when John Sorcelli jumped up here because he's been doing a lot more speaking. Amy did it throughout her talk. You notice how we speak in hooks? You know
I do it all the time.
You're speaking in with intention because somebody yesterday came up to me like, hey, I think it was Art and I were talking like, dude, how do you get better at speaking? And I was using John as an example. When John came up here, did you notice how everybody just listened? He spoke with just that confidence, and he's speaking with authority, and he's speaking in sound bites. Like you could clip up 2 lines of what he said. That's a reel. That's a reel. That's a reel. And you start to just get into this mode. And people pay attention when you speak like this. So here's Jim and I talking. Okay, this is Jim Morris. He's like talking with me, and we're just going over stuff. Right? No audio, it doesn't matter what it said. The funniest video I've ever seen is me and Trev have this dope shot of we're in this room like this at the Hard Rock in San Diego. The lights look epic. Pablo's right behind us. He sees me and Trev talking. And he just gets this smooth shot of us just talking. And the audio on it, if you listen to the audio, Trev's talking to me. He's like, hey, bro, does your hotel room floor smell like ass? And I'm responding to him. I'm like, dude, mine's fine. It smells like normal. I don't know what you're talking about. Nobody would know what we said, okay? It doesn't fucking matter. But then we put this trending audio on it, and it looks like we're having the most epic conversation. We are masterminding about what's going to go down tonight at the Forward event. We're masterminding. He literally, if I turn the audio on, I'm going to use that example next time, Trev. It literally says, does your floor smell like butt? You know, so don't worry what you're saying. It's about what's in the video. So here's the same video now, and I'm going to put music on it, okay? I want you to see the impact of music. So that's us getting ready for the day. So this is the vibe. What vibe would you get from that song?
Okay, so what
I'm
I
going
would
to
say,
do two different songs.
What I would say, you just like Bones, it's like when I would have the hook on the headline on there be something like, when you hear offer accepted without being the highest offer, right?
See.
And then you would say, that's your main hook. Then your sub hook would be something like, three things you need to do to have your offer accepted or whatever.
And you can write them all in the caption.
Make that sexier. And then you boom it out in the caption, hey, comment whatever to download my free get ready to buy your house guide or whatever the hell your freebie is going to be, right? Because then you should be bringing in deals from all over the country, right? And then you can refer them out. And so what's cool about this is I could just pop on social. Jim could just go on social, talking head style, and say, hey guys, I'm here at this event, or I'm so excited because my client's offer just got accepted, and
there's 3 things you have to do in order to get this done, and number 1, number 2, number 3. So you could do that. He's going to get some people, but you're going to get more people this way because it's easier to consume, especially if you're not super good at keeping people's attention, talking head style. So this is the hack, is he would say on here, when the client's offer gets accepted, that POV, point of view, when your client's offer gets accepted in 2024. And we're fist bumping, and there's a celebratory song like this one. Now, how would we use this same video to do a totally different emotion? I was thinking of something like, something, what would you say, like something more, not sad, but like meaningful or inspirational, yeah. So that's what I was looking for. So here's something with inspiration. Do we have the one with just the audio? Because you're missing that one. We'll grab it here in a second. It's one of those. We'll gamble and see which one it is. I literally just did this right now. That was my talk from yesterday. You guys remember that?
Hey, we all have pictures like that, and if you don't, you are a liar.
That was 28-year-old
Or
Neil.
frankly, you've got some work to do because maybe that's the phase you're in right now. You know what I mean?
Yes. All right, so check this out. This is a different tone. Do you see how the same video has a totally different meaning now? Do you feel that? Because I picked a different song. And this is all just done in seconds on Instagram. So first one was like celebratory. Now for this one, what would you do, Amy?
No, I love like the collaboration over competition. Or I think too is it's like one of these things that I think a lot of agents and lenders, I don't know, agents are weird about collaborating. Like they're like, oh, I can't tell anyone what I'm doing. They're weird. But when you open it up and do that kind of collaboration over competition, you can do something like that. I don't know.
This one is like, my vibe was like collaboration for competition because we are maybe in the same industry but collaborating. Mm-hmm. Other people in the industry, so it would attract them to follow you, business partners, recruits, but then also consumers would be like, you know what, I like that person's vibe. Your vibe attracts your tribe. This person is a collaborator. They're someone who gives back to their industry. I want to work with the teacher, not the student. I like you. So it works for consumers too.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think one of the things, I built a big arm at EXP, and I think one of the things that people were like always so scared about doing with that was like, oh, I don't want to share, I don't want to collaborate, right? I don't want to give my secret sauce to other agents. And what's interesting is the more I taught other agents, the better my own business got, because it forced me to like reverse engineer, well, like, wait, how did I make that happen? And then I could tweak it. But the other thing is the amount of referrals that come from knowing more agents or more lenders is astronomical. It is astronomical.
Agent to agent referrals out of state. You're like, man, 20 agents followed me from the posts. I'm a realtor. What do I want 20 agents? Well, those 20 agents are in different markets that can refer you. So don't forget about agent to agent referrals. I know somebody in the mastermind, she's not here. Her 70% of her business is agent to agent referrals. So it's crazy. So this is that video with the inspirational music on it. And then now I'm going to add the text. And it says collaboration of competition. And then I could add a subtext where I drive them to my caption. So here's what it looks like with that. So that's it. It took me 2.4 seconds, to make this video. It's like very quickly, 2.4 minutes to make this video. And then I'll drive more traffic in the caption. We could do all that. What I do notice when you're adding text, and you could tell me your feelings on this, Amy, because I see you do it correct. Some people do it like this.
Oh, please don't. Please don't.
Like, don't just freaking, the text all over. Like, people are like, I added the text. It's blocking the dude's face. It's in the wrong placement. It's too big. You just cut off the screen.
When you are in Instagram editing and you, like, move that text around, it'll show the icons, like, where it's going to be. So you can see that it's in the safe spot. You are in, like, a game of attention, like, catching attention, and you have, like, 2 seconds. 2 seconds to get their attention and get them to like stop that scroll. Do not have text that you can't read.
Yes.
And do it wrong a couple of times and you'll see, and then you'll be like, oh, okay, now I get it. But like, pay attention to it.
Somebody is doing it like this, that's the problem.
I can't follow them.
Yeah, so it's like, it's sad.
It's indicative of their whole business, in my opinion. It's indicative of their whole business,
Yes.
which is a total mess.
That's it. So it's like the equivalent of pulling up to the appointment in the car with there's Cheetos on the freaking dash, and you're like, getting out of the car and they're greeting you, and you're like, oh, fuck, man, what did I get into? So don't do this, okay? Please just make the text look proper placement. What would you say, Trev? Center of the screen, right below the center. That's where we like it. And, I like highlighting one of the words over other words. So
Use the
I like
same font every single time. You know that's Neil. Like, I see that, and I know that's Neil. And that consistency, again, if you have kids, do you put your kids to bed the same way every single night? Why? Because it works. And they know what to do next. And so it's the same thing.
Go ahead, Emily.
Do you think Instagram favors the native fonts?
I use Instagram's fonts because
do
who
too.
the hell has time to put it in a different app and then bring it into Instagram?
Yeah.
You gotta remove some of the resistance, remove some of the barriers, make it easy.
This takes 2 minutes to do, and there's no friction. You can get these posts up. For many of you who are doing talking head, we need to mix these in every other post. If you're not comfortable doing talking head, just do these to start. You'll get better at talking head because of this. Does everyone understand what I'm saying here? Okay, you guys are good with this? How many of you got great B-roll shots outside? Did you see this? I saw some of you guys got them. Some of the team was helping you with it. So now you have a few on your phone that you could use. And I would challenge you guys today, make one of these posts, whatever comes to mind from this weekend, whatever it is, put the text over it, pick a song, anything. I don't even care if it's trending, you want to get into it, non-trending, whatever. We can get into that later. Just pick any song that fits the vibe of the video, post it and tag us, and then we can highlight you on Tuesday's call. Is that a challenge? Who's going to do this challenge? All right, so we got 20 hands, 30 hands, Trev. We're going to see how many people do this on Tuesday. Okay, it's a challenge, and I want to see you guys do it. Go ahead, Sophie. These ones, I just like the music and the text. If it's going to be a voiceover, that's a different type of video. I've done that before. You've done that too, Amy.
I've done it before too. These just perform really well for me, and so I'm a creature of habit. Go ahead.
That you could do, yeah.
Yeah, I've done where I've recorded my screen, and then I do a green screen where I'm oh, this is whatever. Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, that works. These are just so simple to consume, and it's a great entry point for someone to get introduced to you and your content, and you're driving them to the caption. Some people will read the caption, and then they'll read your call to action too. So the goal for this is if you don't have your funnels and all that stuff built, you can reach out to us. We can help you with that. For now, just worry about making the post. Don't try and freaking boil the ocean right now. Just work on making the post and then writing something more in the caption. That's the assignment, and I want to see a dozen of you guys at least post this and tag us so we can review it on Tuesday's call, okay?
Well, this is one of the things too, is the reason this performs so well is one, your goal is to work with the algorithm. Okay, when you work with the algorithm, it is like having your sails up and the wind is behind you, and Instagram shows you to everyone, not just everyone, but the people you want to see your content, right? Because I don't want to appeal to everyone. And so why this works is when you have that long caption and people click on it and they're reading it, that video is looping in the background. Okay, so let's say Sean's reading my caption, and sorry, I keep picking on you, Sean, and it's looping in the background, right? I want more people like Sean inside my web because Sean and I work with similar clientele, right? We share intel, we share clients, we share a similar business model, and we refer deals to each other, right? And so as it's looping in the background, Instagram's like, oh, Sean really likes this. We should show it to more people like Sean.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's why it starts to get this momentum going for you where it's bringing in your ideal person. Because it doesn't matter if 1 million people see your video if there are 1 million of the wrong people.
100%. I just want to thank you, Amy, for spending time with us today. Guys, give it up for Amy Gregory. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Thank you. That was awesome. Wasn't that freaking great? That was awesome. What a great way to wrap up the event. I had no idea that Amy was that powerful of a speaker until now, so that's awesome. Thank you so much. That was great. I was locked in. So we had Cody, who had no filter and told some of the craziest jokes. That was a wild way to wake up this morning. I'm sure some of you weren't expecting balls jokes at 9 a.m., but then Amy kind of brought it home with this great strategy. So we'll do a debrief on Tuesday of a lot of the strategy we did and kind of go deeper on the content. To be able to implement more of this. And that's going to be a goal of mine, is to help you guys implement these strategies, continue to inspire you with new things, but not bring in too much new information. Let's just get really fucking good at this thing, getting traffic to wherever it is we want to go, and then funneling that to customers. Would that be cool with you guys? If we narrowed our focus? I'm not going to bring in like this guy and this dude and this lady to talk about this thing. It's too much crazy shit squirrel. Let's just go down deeper on this strategy, because this strategy will change your business and it's going to improve the quality of your life. And that's what I want for each and every one of you. Some of you are already doing it. Let's put gas on a fire. Some of you are earlier in that journey. Let's get you there quicker. And so that was our goal this weekend, and I hope you feel closer to that, or you feel inspired by the work we've done today. I'm still kind of mind blown from Phil Jones' talk yesterday. I'm going to go back and watch that. And obviously we have the book now. So I hadn't even read the book yet. It's been sitting on my desk for years. Somebody gave it to me. Now I'm actually going to read it, because of the way he presented it yesterday was so freaking good. And so just think about these things, like your biggest takeaway. What's your big action item to implement this week, in the coming weeks, and be reasonable. You know, a lot of times we feel overwhelmed and we feel like we're not making progress because our goals are too big. You know, and I love big goals, but I want to know, like, what can we do this week? Because what happens for me is if I can put points on the board, I feel like I'm winning. And when I feel like I'm not doing things, then I feel like a loser and I feel like overwhelmed. So even if it's something simple as I'm going to get that video that this new strategy posted, tag forward and tag Neil so he knows I did it, and I'm going to see like the results of this. That alone is a win. You've put points on the board. And now we can keep moving. And anybody in this room, including myself, who is having success, and everybody's having success in different areas, it all started because of that. They took action on an idea, and the ball is hardest to move in the beginning. Once it gets going, you've got momentum, it's way easier.